End of December 2025 with the Lovelocks of Sunninghill. Rough cut photo trails and video clips. Yes, I realise there's room in our newsletter, which is printed and online, for another video there. So let's make that the end of December. We can start off with just the first day, Boxing Day, and add stuff to it as needed. So let's go into those photo trails, starting on my favourite picture in the house, which is the expensive Renoir. Friday the 26th of December 2025, Boxing Day. Yes, I understand Boxing Day comes after the tradition of giving boxes of leftovers from Christmas to the poor. Yes, Flame Kebab was the only place open to eat. Popped into the Comrades Club, that was open of course. Now the photos in the order shot, starting at about 11:45 midday. Yes, there's a video uploading to YouTube, and past all the wrappings out onto the patio. What's that, about 3 degrees? What I will mention here is what isn't on this record, other than me mentioning it, is the interesting conversation developing with a person in Bulgaria who contacted me a few days ago, and we'll see where that goes and who else gets involved in that conversation. Could be very interesting. Anyhow, getting down towards the end of the garden, yes, familiar, everything much the same, plenty of scope for work to be done. Clearing up leaves is the minimum. Topping up the bird feeder, that's it before. There's 5 bird feeders, that's where the feed is kept, just there. You've got a glimpse of my plant container based on shoes. Looking up, plenty of scope to cut more branches back to expose more sunlight, and making my way back up the garden past the second pond. Yeah, it's all boring stuff, I know, but it's an aid to memory, especially if you suddenly see something which is different. You may not see it at the time of taking the pictures. And back into the patio area. Yes, very untidy, including where there's computers and TV screen, all sorts of things. Back into the lounge. Yes, video processing, and that looks as though that's probably going up onto YouTube, I don't know. Could be. Yes, fingers crossed that'd be okay. So 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and yeah, June's watching Call the Midwife, I think that probably is. And yes, I think she quite likes that sign, and all those other plants and things, including containers that were given. So I'm making my way out past Homer and the robot boat with Snoopy on it, Snoopy the Viking, and I thought I'd take a walk down to the village, probably to eat, and also see what places are open and which aren't. So past the Comrades Club, yes, usual places, and Blend and Brew. Now they haven't got a sign up saying they're closed, at least I didn't see it, but not to worry. Carry on down, so over the railway, and yes, that's looking towards Ascot Station, and carry on into the middle of the village. There's the vet on the left, and there's the Sun Cafe. Now it was open yesterday, but no, sorry, we're closed, which is fine. They've got to have some Christmas. Oh, into the courtyard, and yes, that was closed as well. And where else? Thames Hospice, yes, closed. And Inspiration, closed. Chapman's, yes. But of course, people have got to enjoy Christmas, haven't they? Can't be working all the time. Not like Robin. Yeah, past 3-1. And Anne-Marie Bakery, yes, closures. And Tesco, and the Flame. But of course the Flame was open. Had a lovely conversation with an old boy in there. And yeah, look, they actually got a special Christmas mug for coffee, or container. So made my way up. Oh yeah, I'm not sure what that brolly was doing there. That was where they're doing work outside La Sorrentina. But perhaps somebody fell in a hole. I don't know. Oh, there's the fence. Plenty of scope for a big concrete corner to be put on there. Cause some damage to vehicles that do that sort of thing. In the Comrades Club, lovely conversations in there, but no photographs other than just some snaps. You can see the Christmas decorations up still. And back out, even though that was quite a long stay. And making my way back home to Homer on guard duty at 22 Armitage Court with the robot boat outside with Snoopy the Viking. And yes, there's Homer and the flatulent fairy. Still need work on them, but at the end of the day, it's a matter of prioritising time. And of course it depends on who's available to do the work. So now into the house. Just about. Yes, another sign of that. Lovely lady and grumpy old man. There's the lovely lady, and there's Toadie the pussycat, and there's Samantha has appeared. So that looks as though that processing has been done, coming up to 5 o'clock in the afternoon or evening. And June's been doing a jigsaw puzzle because that's what was given out with those crackers. But the old story is, how do you tidy it up and put it? And there's Samantha actually emptied the dustbins, or one of them. That's good. So what's next? Oh, June's watching some other thing. And that's the end of the photo trail so far. Saturday the 27th of December 2025. Yes, there's 25 minutes of photos here, of which the first, 2 minutes, a summary of what, I don't know, the main thing was the Bracknell 5k park run by Michelle and June. Yeah, usual routine of going down and topping up bird feeders and a record of the garden, but of course the other thing was, what was going on in parallel. And yeah, they got back okay and revealed that rather than run, they decided to walk. Didn't blame them. Yes, Homer and the flatulent fairy. Somebody had written that on their car when it was frosty. Oh, and they decided to do a jigsaw puzzle. So, yes, June quite liked that present, but maybe she gets some other ones. So down into the village, really to check out what places were open. And Thames Hospice was open, and looked at the stuff there and came to an arrangement with them, I think. Anyhow, yes, also we went to the chemist and got some sting rib. Oh yes, I had just a cup of coffee in the no time to keep up. That's Billy in the Comrades Club and other family. And when June picked me up, she got a chance to have a few minutes with them. And we were going over to Gary and Saskia's to give them a late birthday present. And so we spent a little bit of time there. The late birthday present was membership of the National Trust. And then there's a long photo trail of the journey. Those journeys were quite a long one, but it was a bit of an experiment. Yeah, back home here. And yeah, interesting emails on the same subject from Peter and Dick. And I forced myself to go down to the village to eat. And yes, at La Sorrentina. And that included a record of how much I spent. I got a free wine as well. Right, time in the Comrades Club, and then made my way back home. And yeah, June's watching something, and Michelle's lit the fire, and there's Lady. So that's the end of the summary. Now into all the photos in the order shot, starting at about 9 o'clock in the morning, which is when their park run started. So the tracker that June carries worked quite well of seeing their progress round. So I checked occasionally where they were and could see exactly, of course. And yeah, listen to the Radio 4 news, I expect that was. Of course, you can freeze frame anytime you're really curious. 9:05 now, and looking good. They're well on their way round the run, and the tracker was working quite well. Oh, I found that photo later, which is sort of typical of the scene of a run. And right, now my usual routine, taking a few snaps around the garden, going down the end to top up the bird feeders, but a complete record, a record. Yeah, plants coming up. Don't forget, we're at the end of December and past the winter solstice. And yeah, so usual stuff, not much change, so just tidy up needed when there's time for somebody to do it. Yeah, bird feeder before topping up. Yes, that's where the bird feeder is kept after topping up. Oh yeah, seed is beginning to grow there. Yes, plenty of scope for work, looking up, plenty of scope for branches to cut up more. All property maintenance in the broadest sense. And making my way back up. Yeah, very boring stuff, I know. Occasionally it's I find it useful as an aid to memory. Those plants are going to be good next year, hopefully. Making my way back round to the patio near the top pond, and yes, that is one of the presents. There's lots of those around, plant containers. And I mean, that was a reminder that there's wood there, because quite a lot of wood has been burnt on the fire. Right, that's looking at, oh, that's probably, yes, that was the track of them, including doing the park run out to Bracknell. And then, so what are we looking at now? Oh, they're still on the park run. And I decided to have my 2 Weetabix. Yeah, multitasking, having an early breakfast. Well, not really that early, is it? And keeping an eye on where they are. And looks like they're still doing the run or the walk. Yeah, lovely patch. I mean, I think over the years, all those spots we visited, that's where they would or could have had a relaxation and a coffee, but I touched base with them, and it looks as though they were on their way back. They decided to relax at home. Yes, and I could tell they were driving by the speed they were going. I don't think they were running at whatever speed that was. And then I spoke to Michelle, because I think the June's phone was on answer phone, and yeah, so you could see them coming on their route back, familiar route, lovely places around, of course. And yeah, so they'll be back home soon. And yes, there they are. By the time I went out, they'd just arrived. So they don't look too worn out. And Homer says, yes, you look all right. And there's the robot boat with Snoopy the Viking. And yes, still plenty of scope to tidy up the flatulent fairy. Lovely little present she's got in the handbag there. Yes, don't know who wrote that on there, because it must have been really cold that night. By the time I was up, it was beginning to thaw out. Yes, there's June's Christmas present from me, and I did tell her to have as many as she liked from Thames Hospice. Yes, and they've got a new complicated coffee maker. I suspect it would argue with you about, do you really want a cup of coffee now? Right, what's next? yeah, really hard work it was. I had a bit of a doze, but not for more than a few minutes. Made myself a lunch because I thought, oh, I'd have a snack. And then June and Michelle decided to do the, oh yes, that was peanuts. I needed to, yeah, got rotated by the smartphone, stupid smartphone. Yes, I topped up the peanuts at the front, and that's a record of where things are kept for those sort of tasks. There's another photo that got rotated, and another one. So, yes, June's continuing with the jigsaw puzzle, and of course, those Christmas crackers that we had, instead of the usual things inside, they had lots of jigsaw puzzles. Right, I think, yes, I've finishing my lunch, and yes, then I went upstairs. I thought, I'd seen on the closed circuit TV that nothing was in the feeder. That I haven't put stuff in for ages, and the camera was obstructed. That's the main thing I noticed. So removed the plant in front of the camera and put lots of peanuts in the feeder. And we have various things. So I thought while I was up there, I might as well have a record of what things were like up on the flat roof. Obviously, June's used it as an opportunity to put plants up there, and I think Michelle would put another water butt up there. Yes, plenty of scope for leaves to be cleared, and of course used if you put them on the compost heap. Yeah, there's the water butt that Michelle had put in. That was a previous trip during the summer, practically, I think. And look at all that stuff, mostly women's clothes, and probably puts my clothes in there as well. I don't know. Look at it all. That was a bedroom once. I remember Christina was in that room a good few years ago. Wonder who's going to clear that up. Yes, mirror there. And of course, quite often I expect this commentary will go out of sync. June's still working on that. Been joined by Michelle, helping her with it, if that's the word. So, looking at the closed circuit TV where you get a good view, including that's a little blue tick, is it? So you get that on the closed circuit TV. You can see the birds feeding, and some time ago, it might be years ago, I remember an owl came down there, but just as not to feed, to have a vantage point for mice. And good thing is the mouse got away. Right, there's me thinking of going down to the village, and it'll be down to places like the Comrades Club. Yes, yeah, that one went off by accident. Past Homer and the Flatulent Fairy, and yeah, plenty of scope there to improve that. Right, so making my way down the village into the 20 zone and past the Comrades Club. That fence I see has been repaired. Past the other places, Blend and Brew, and checking. No sign there to say they're closed for Christmas. And carry on down over the railway. That's looking now towards Ascot Station. And carry on down. Sun Cafe. The Sun Cafe was open. Of course, I'd already had a snack and checked it out whenever it was, the day before, was it? I don't know. Into Thames Hospice, I had a good few minutes in there. And yeah, in a nutshell, I told June that she can have anything she wants from Thames Hospice, and whatever it is, in quantity if necessary. Right, checked out the Courtyard Cafe. Yeah, that was close. Got to have time off. And it's Christmas is Christmas, isn't it? And Chapman's, yeah, you expect that to be close. And Yeah, the pharmacy wasn't the chemist, so I got that relief from insect stings. I don't know what the bites are, probably flea bites from the pussycat. And into the flame, had just a cup of coffee. Lovely Christmas container. And that umbrella is still in that deep hole. That is a massive hole down there. It could be drains. I wonder whether that's a shelter that was from the war when the Americans were keeping the locals happy, making sure they all had a proper shelter. Yeah, so that was lovely time spent with Billy, and the details of, I think he, no time to give the description, but yeah, it's all down to time served during the war relative to Dad, and that was important to me, that June got a chance to spend a few minutes with Billy and the family. I say the family, not Billy's family, another family. And now this is our journey, very long photo trail. At that stage we're going through Bagshot. We're going along the A30 to Saskia and Gary's in Little Vigo near Blackbush. So I took the opportunity, and I found the camera, I say the camera, the smartphone camera, worked reasonably well in that light, and yeah, movement and everything else, but you'd recognise the places if you knew the area, and of course you can compare it with Street View. And yeah, so that's coming through Blackwater, I think, and I might have got it wrong, I don't know. I don't know what happened, that went off by accident, obviously. Yes, I think I probably got the commentary wrong here, because no, those are other places. This is still Camberley, with Sandhurst Military Academy on the right, and we'll be going past the elephant soon. There's the elephant, and yes, so we're approaching Blackwater, so my earlier words were completely wrong. Right, this is Blackwater, and now we're coming past all these places. I've got memories for various reasons. So we're now coming out of Camberley along the A30, approaching Blackbush. There's the Ely pub, and there's the roundabout where, and then we turn right there, then left, and now we're going along. I think it's they may change the road, but into Yateley, and that's where it's opposite the pub, where we turn left into Little Vigo, a lovely long little lane. The potholes are quite good to slow down people, and of course on the left is the common, which is also the old Blackbush airfield enlarged version. And then we get to Saskia and Gary's, and of course you've got nice decorations up. Yeah, so there's the artwork that Saskia did, and their little art studio, I suppose they might call that, and pictures on the walls. And then they took us in, and that came through, and I did try throwing a few darts, and it was terrible. One of them didn't even hit the board. That didn't surprise me. I used to be able to get within an inch or half an inch or better, but no surprise there. So now another long photo trail, which will be even more boring because it's dark, so fewer photos will have probably come out, but yeah, it was still, sometimes you could recognise things, and it's all a matter of, if I held the camera better, I might have. I keep calling it a camera, it's a smartphone, but of course technically what's inside a smartphone is better than most cameras now, I think. Anyhow, yeah, wherever those places are. That was probably the Ely, but I'm guessing, because we recognise that coming down. Yeah, that's probably Blackwater. Yes, lots of pictures didn't come out, and there's approaching the big roundabout, which is, yes, coming into the border into Surrey. No, that was Surrey, I think. Oh, I don't know. Very confusing. Perhaps that was Hampshire into Surrey, I don't know. Look on a map. I ought to know by now. Right, so we passed the military academy on our left, this stretch. So this is Camberley, but of course it's Sandhurst Military Academy on the left. That's the fire station. So we're well out of that, and that's the Jolly Farmer roundabout, I should think. It's had a golf place there for years. Sunninghill stuff, that is. And I'm not sure where we are now. Could have been the fire station, perhaps. Oh, that's where we turn left for the windmill. And then following the road, yes, coming into Sunninghill, into Armitage Court. And there's Homer. Hello, Homer. And the flatulent fairy. And Bentley decides to come over when he saw us arrive. So he decided, oh, I'll come over for evening meal or something. And there's all the lights are coming on, of course. And yes, there's Homer. And so coming into the house, and I expect June is encouraging Bentley to come in, and probably might have called Michelle. And yes, come on in, Bentley. Yes, Michelle came down. Oh, and encouraged him with some little treat. So Bentley came in. I looked at the tracker. Yes, that shows the journey down there to near Blackbush Airport, as it's called, and getting closer and around Little Vigo to Saskia and Garris, and then coming back to 22 Armitage Court, just here. So, oh, there's Bentley. Yeah, so we've got 3 pussycats in the house now, unless Toadie's off prowling around. Not sure. That was looked like a brick, but I'm not sure. Oh, that's got these emails came in. It was a topic of a robot boat, and yeah. So Michelle has lit the fire. Get through a lot of logs. At some point, I think there was a spider needed rescuing, and I managed to rescue it. Put it out with the logs where it had been. Alright, that looks like an intention to go down to the village. And of course it was quite chilly. Combination of low temperature around about 0 and a bit of a breeze. But still wasn't too bad, wasn't raining. So down past the Comrades Club and La Sorrentina, and yes, they let me in. So I had an enjoyable time there. Yeah, so they didn't have any arancini, but they had tricolore, and that was the onion, well, whatever rings, octopus rings. Oh yes, yes, just a glimpse. Sorry, Juba. And yes, so settled up, fascinated about that tunnel and hole down there. So back into the Comrades Club. Spent a little bit of time there, and yes, so then make my way back home. No lack of things to do, apart from the fact you're there could be quite important emails in, and because there's conversations going on, and of course there's messing around, things like the photo trail video that I'm recording this on at the moment. So into the house, well, after pointing out, yes, that's where the Christmas things have been put. So and there's that very expensive gift for Samantha, and she was watching I think it was Oppenheimer, but not sure. Guy made the nuclear bomb, or it was very important in its development. Right, back home, anybody could see, and there's the look, it needs more logs on the fire, so I brought one of them in, if you call it a log. And there's Lady, Michelle's pussycat, relaxing. Oh, there's that little toy that kept going off. It was a loud noise from a crackle from the fire, and it would set that thing off, which would start wobbling and walking about and making, well, singing, I think. So, yes, relaxing now in front of the fire, and June's still watching that film. Bit blurred, that picture. So, that'll have to do. That's the end of the photo trail. Sunday, the 28th of December, 2025. The day started with interesting experience related to delivery by a courier. And we got an alert from the Ring camera on the porch. It said there'd been a package detected, and that's the package we were interested in. But the video didn't last long enough to actually see. So, matter of looking at the other cameras. This video clip is probably worth getting. Meanwhile, they're watching tennis and Michelle's lighting the fire, but this was at about 10:15 this morning. Let me just play it. And it was a young man delivering a parcel. Now, he wasn't delivering the parcel, that's what we thought, but he followed exactly the right procedure, and we were confused because the other cameras, we thought he was delivering a parcel. So he was checking the other stuff, and that's what he had to deliver. And yes, so taking the photographs of it. And of course, on the other cameras, June thought, oh, they're delivering a parcel, but they weren't. Lovely. Yeah, checking it's for the right person and not wearing a hoodie or anything. He manages to escape past Homer and the flatulent fairy. So let's now go into those photos for that day. Here's the photos in the order they were shot, starting at 12:25. Yes, processing of the video for the day before, and yes, June's. Oh yes, we were looking at the people's cards. We were rather late opening and reading newsletters and cards. Anyhow, there's the temperature. What's that, 5 degrees? Yes, well above freezing. And the usual boring trail of photos down the garden as a record of what things were like, just in case something's changed. And useful for anybody interested in helping us with property maintenance, like the easy jobs like clearing up leaves. I say easy, it takes a lot of time and effort, doesn't it? But we got the tools for the job. So usual walk down and noticing flowers that are coming up already, even though it's near the end of December. And of course, topping up bird feeders is one of the jobs. Yeah, look at that, that's the bulk garden. So that's not really empty, but it needs topping up, so that's where the bird feeder's kept. Put a bit more in there and then do that for all 5 bird feeders. and a few snaps, for example looking up, plenty of scope to cut back more twigs and branches to expose more sky and sunlight, and of course stars and the moon and things as well. Yeah, that was the second pond. Yeah, it's boring stuff, I know, but it's an easy routine. Making my way back up the garden. Yes, that's the Gunner Monte Carlo, and that's, or whatever that is. And yeah, it's good. Sometimes you look at these things, you think, oh crikey, yeah, there's a job I should do. Yeah, that's coming along nicely. So they do, the photo trails do have, I mean, for example, that camouflage netting has fallen down. That needs work, but it's a question of priorities. Yeah, it's June's greenhouse. I guess it doesn't matter being wide open, even though it's sometimes dropping below zero. And yes, there's the peeing boy and the other one. Oh dear, that's a present left by a fox, I think. Plenty of scope for tidying up. And making my way back into the house, past, yeah, lots of stuff on the patio. All could do with tidying up, it's all a matter of time. Yeah, leaves, and that's the computer and TV under that. So back into the lounge, and oh yes, that little thing kept going off, and June pointed out there was a power on off switch on it. A loud noise would set it off. Oh yeah, that's it. So we're looking at newsletters and things from friends. Yeah, coming up till 1 o'clock, is that? And listening to the Radio 4 News. That processing is completed. And update the newsletter, or the video that's plugged into the newsletter. And oh, it looks like Mamma Mia, that is what. Yeah, I remember that film, and others chatting to in the Comrades Club remember it well too. And so it looks like I'm on my way down to the village, past Homer and the flatulent fairy. Yeah, hood up because it's a little bit chilly. There's Snoopy on his robot boat. And yeah, coming down into the village and past the Comrades Club. And yeah, probably just check things, what shops were open and what weren't. And some people find it interesting. Into the Comrades Club and relax there. I'll have to be more careful when I take photos. Some people think I'm taking photos of them, and of course I might be taking a selfie with me in the background. But oh, that was an interesting chat, and yes, it turned out to be a relative of Stuart's. And yes, I'm back home, and that was Bentley saw a brief of. There's Homer, and coming into the house, and yeah, what? Oh yes, she's present. There's Michelle probably lighting the fire again. What triggered my coming down was the possibility that the Bansals were still there, but I spoke to them as they left, and there's them on the closed circuit TV arriving. Yeah, there's Raj and Daman and Bal. So I only spoke to them briefly as they were leaving in the car. Oh yes, that's where you would have seen that earlier. The interesting situation where cameras didn't always give you what the information you needed. And so it looks like I'm off again. I can only imagine it's, yeah, looking at it, relatively late afternoon, I should think. And yes, so down to the village again. Force myself to go down there and relax and enjoy myself. And yes, into the Comrades Club this time. And yes, so what was that, football? Oh yes, plenty of scope for wind-ups with Sally and her partner David. So I've got some cash out from one stop, which is useful, past Ascot Locks and that lovely bit of sculpture that I love, and past the Jade, making my way back up through the village, and Chapman's, over the railway bridge, past the 3-1 barber shop, and Tesco, and Flame Kebab, and La Sorrentina. Oh yes, that's fascinating. There's a brolly there, but that hole looks really deep. And there we are. I know there are tunnels all over Sunninghill, even though many are sealed up. And of course, decent shelters. So, looks like I've gone into the club. Oh, that, yeah, worth getting a record of that reminder. Got a party that was fantastic last year. Yeah, so into the Sorrentina, and a few selfies of myself with the artwork on the wall. Lovely stuff and lovely food. Yes, that's my quite often have that thing. And yeah, it was a bunch from we knew each other from La Sorrentina, and other new people I spoke to. Oh yes, he forced me to have a limoncello. And there's the cash with a false bill, 115,000 that was. He also gave me the proper one, of course. And some people don't seem to realise that people sometimes do things for jokes or pranks, and that was definitely in that league. Not the first time he'd done it, and done very well. Right, into the Comrades Club again, and making my way home. Yes, there we go, 22 Armitage Court, with Homer. You can see my shadow there. Homer and the flatulent fairy. Yeah, lighting could be better, but only so much time to do things. So coming into the house, yes, June's present. I've already said she can choose something else. She has said what she wanted, but let her choose that. Right, so they're watching, oh, I don't know, it's, they did say Ice or something. It's a kind of a kids' fairy story cartoon. So, that'll do. That's the end of the photo trail. Monday the 29th of December 2025. The most significant event for Robin was being banned from the Comrades Club, but very professionally done, and only for a few days until a committee meeting, and then we'll see what happens, whether the ban continues or whether he's able to go back in again. Hopefully just a misunderstanding. Now the photos in the order shot. Yes, processing of the video for the day before. Usual trip down to the garden. 4 degrees centigrade, so well above freezing, at least it was then. And yes, so here we go, the usual record what the garden was like then for anybody interested in property maintenance in the broadest sense. So not really anything changed for quite a few days now. Lots of leaves, but plants flowering right in the middle of winter. Yes, because we've come past the winter solstice. And yeah, usual pattern, going down to top up the bird feeders, and there's one needs topping up, so that's where the bird feeder's kept. Work could be done on that box, but no time. There's having topped it up, and record of things looking up. Yes, plenty of scope for twigs and branches to be cut back to expose more sky and sunlight. Making way back up the garden. Yes, into the second pond, and looking down across the summer house and the sundial, one of many, up the steps, and making my way towards the patio and the top pond. No change there for ages, but it's a record of all the junk that needs to be tidied up. Some can be thrown, but mostly just put in the right place or given away. And yeah, not much change there. back into the lounge, and what's next? Processing of the video for the day before, and well, no, that was broader than that. It was the end of December video, I think. It looks like I'm off down to the village, and yes, past Homer and the flatulent fairy, and past the robot boat with Snoopy the Viking on it, and down and into the village, went into the Comrades Club, and that's where Joe told me, oh, sorry Robin, but yeah, you're banned. And what was brilliant is that later a letter was delivered by a young lady, shown on Air Closed Circuit TV, which had all the details of the meeting. And yeah, just a record of presents still be put away. There's Bentley decided to come in for lunch, and yes, cards to be answered still. Hello Bentley. He's probably playing with that toy. So it's coming up to 2 o'clock. Processing of that has been done, and it looks like I'm having a snack based on arancini and other light bites. Ice cream cornet as well. Yeah, looking at cards and wondering when we're going to answer some of those. And what's next? Listen to the Radio 4 news. Oh yes, that was the letter that had come in very professionally. And yes, you blanked out her face, but saw the young lady on the closed circuit TV. So that was brilliant. Delivered, by hand the next day, and it's absolutely clear, the letter. So I think I popped down to the Comrades Hub and just said yes, thanks very much, and really appreciate that. And yeah, we'll be attending the meeting. Hopefully, just to clarify, it was a misunderstanding. But there's Samantha working on the printer, June watching something on the telly. I had a bit of a doze, but not for very long. Oh yes, that was a phone call, somebody in the Comrades Club, and yes, they're watching, what is it, Aquaman or something boring. Oh dear. So yeah, had a bit of a doze, but that's about it, I think. Oh yeah, emails to do with pub lunch coming up this week, what day and where, and Samantha getting back from tennis. Yeah, small television, time for bed, and that's the end of the photo trail. Tuesday the 30th of December 2025. Main thing was the trip out with June for her to get other Christmas presents other than the one I got her, and that was quite a long trip, lots of places, and anyhow, you'll see the detail in due course. So now the photos in the order shot, and yes, the usual routine of going out, 9:20 in the morning, temperature, well, just above freezing, I think, and yeah, the water hadn't frozen anywhere, and yes, flowers still out, like the primroses, middle of winter. Yes, boring, I know, but it's a record of what it was like on that day. Lovely blue sky. Making my way down the garden for the usual routine of photographing plants coming up and flowering, and of course topping up the bird feeders, all 5 of them. And so no lack of garden maintenance work to be done. The leaves are the simple job. Yes, so there's one bird feeder needs topping up, so go to the box. That needs work on it as well. Stop slugs getting in. And that bird feeder's topped up, and yes, it's a bit too fast for me, isn't it? So probably now looking up. Yes, plenty of scope for twigs and branches to be cut back to expose more sky. And what else? Yes, of course these photos enable me to look in slower time and say, oh goodness me, yes, we better get on with that job if and when there's somebody to help, because there's only a limit how much one person could do. And Yeah, so working my way back up the garden. Yeah, I like that plant. Hopefully it survives the winter. And yeah, coming into, yeah, to the patio near the top pond. Lots of junk to be tidied up and put in the right place. And some of it possibly fixed after testing it. Back into the lounge. Yeah, much the same there. Lots of stuff from Christmas. And the women playing tennis, and June's tracker shows them when they'll be on their way back. And at the Royal Ascot Tennis Club, that is. Yeah, it looks as though she's on the way back to where the car's parked. Yes, and that's about the time they normally would be leaving, about past to get here. Yeah, so they're on their way. There we go, past the Ascot Fire Station. And yeah, coming back past the station along the Brockenhurst Road. We're just here, so they'll be in within a few minutes. And so go out, and there they are arriving. Yeah, so while I'm out there, took a few snaps at the front, including glimpses of the robot boat and Homer. Yeah, so, and there's June's tracker, similar to the one I have on me all the time. Right, so the women are in, and back into the lounge. Yes, there's the tracker. Positions not very accurate, so I put June's tracker on charge, and the more important thing is it's upright and getting a signal better. Looks as though it's in the right position now, so that's all working. There's Bentley. Looks as though he's come in for, what would that be, a late breakfast? Then he decided to go back over the road. And there's the flatulent fairy. Still work we could do on those, even though it's getting a bit late. Oh yes, I switched on the robot boat, and yes, the rudder was waggling, indicating it was working. And of course it's only a matter of this time of the year, there's not many hours of sunlight, so that's the struggle. And yes, that has fallen down, which is the owl box on the oak tree. Not sure when there's going to be time to fix that. Oh yes, booking for pub lunch on the Friday. Looks like parcels have arrived, and I decided to have a brunch. And oh yes, there's the courier coming, going through the correct procedure, and of course everything's on camera. Some cameras, of course, not necessarily mine, go out live for anybody to look at. I remember seeing that years ago, where we used to get our car worked on. Right, so yeah, now I can see the rudder still moving on the closed circuit TV, which of course enables me to see when it stops working, how many hours it runs for. Oh yes, and of course you can see visits by foxes for the peanuts overnight, so they're still coming regularly. And there's Michelle with Toadie, and yes, she does like the pussycats. 3 of them, of course. Her lady, our Toadie, and Bentley makes himself at home over here. And we're off now on our trip. The first place is down into the village. I'm not sure I got many photos. And parked round the back and went into Thames Hospice. And she didn't see anything. I said, anything you like. But I saw that. So I thought, well, while I'm there, and you'll see a glimpse of it later. So we're now on their next trip, and she said, I want to go to Marks and Spencer's, which is, well, what do you call it, Sandhurst or Camberley. And yeah, past a few landmarks. The Cedar Tree, which I guess that pub was named after the cedar tree nearby. and past that church up for sale, I think, and yes, past another pub, and yes, Jolly Farmer roundabout, which has for years has been that American Golf thing. Did I say American? I don't know what it is. And coming through past Sandhurst and other places, yeah, there's the elephant landmark in Camberley. Yeah, alongside where are we now? So I think we've arrived at Marks and Spencer's, and June had a good look round for all sorts of stuff, and yeah, mostly I think it was for new nightwear. Some people didn't necessarily agree that that stuff suited me, but not to worry. So we're on our way back now, not back home, but I suggested we might have a coffee at near Blackbush, past the Ely on the right, and there's a lovely cafe, and June hadn't been in there before, Pathfinder Cafe. I don't think I took up any photos to speak of inside there, but oh, you saw that one. But really interesting local guys, including Frank. I won't say more, but Frank and I had quite a interesting few minutes. Topics of GPS and applications in by some users. Right, back through Blackwater, past again landmarks. Welcome to Blackwater. And of course over the years we went to some of these places for different reasons. And welcome to Camberley. And yes, middle of Camberley. That's now a temple, I believe, and some of these things have been there for the same thing for years. Yeah, so one of the entrances to Sandhurst Military College, and yes, past the fire station. So right, we're approaching Bagshot. Yes, we're coming into Bagshot past the pub on the left. Bit too blurred. Yeah, past that yew tree. And one of the entrances into Bagshot Park there on the right was the archaeology centre that was the police station, past the Cricketers Beefeater, and into Longacres, which is where June said yes, there might be stuff she would like there. I think it was mostly in the nature of Christmas lights, but of course you see these things which seen before. That's the photograph which I chose at the front. So we got quite a lot of stuff there. I think it was mostly lights and things. So on our way back home now, and along the A30, turn left at the Windmill Pub to Sunninghill, over the border into Berkshire, and past the Beresteed Hotel, and into Armitage Court, and make our way to number 22, and we arrive home with Homer and probably Pussycats on guard duty, and the robot boat still working. So after several hours it was still running, but it's all a matter of time before the power runs so low it'll stop. And Michelle was working on the jigsaw puzzle, and yes, just a record of the mixture of junk and that. And yes, that's the first Christmas present I got, June. And he says he forgot. What did I forget? Something? Oh, I'm not sure. There's Lady. There's the jigsaw coming along. And now probably looking at the history information on my tracker as a record. And yeah, so there's their visit to Tesco, and then to Blackbush and the Pathfinder Cafe. And of course anybody interested live would see where I was at any one time. And but I'd forgotten the very first place we went was in the middle of the village. Yes, and that's where I got that sign. Of course it was Thames Hospice. I thought for the moment I'll put it up there at the front window. And June started to put up some of the lights which she'd bought. More lights for the Christmas tree, but of course some might go inside Homer, don't know. And then we get back home, just here. So June's still tinkering with the Christmas tree and then watching Something Wrong, and Michelle has practically finished the jigsaw puzzle, watched by Lady, her pussycat. And then I thought, I'd ring La Sorrentina rather than just turn up to see whether a table will be free for me in about an hour. And they said yes. So it's getting down to the time of going down there. Yeah, wrapped up warm. It was chilly, but it wasn't too bad. It was dry and it wasn't too windy. So make my way down into the village, past the Comrades Club that I'm not allowed to go in for the moment, but maybe after a few days when we have our meeting, into La Sorrentina. Yes, enjoyable conversations there and food, and that was it. I had tricolore and then the garlic bread, and in fact I didn't eat all of that. I brought half of it back to go in there, fridge, past the Comrades Club on my way back and get back home. Yes, looks like the dustbins are out for tomorrow. And yes, there's the robot boat and there's Homer. Yeah, just a record of the Christmas lights still on and working and stuff on the front porch, including plant containers and that sign, and June watching whatever it is on the telly. So yes, Cracker shows Robin's got back home. Oh, that was a hard day, wasn't it? And what's next? Yeah, still stuff on the telly, so time for bed, and that's the end of the photo trail. Wednesday the 31st of December 2025, New Year's Eve. Family saw that all together in the lounge and watching it on the TV, of course. So, including the pussycats like Lady and Toadie. And here's the photo trail starting with the women getting back from tennis in the morning, greeted by Toadie. And I'm meanwhile processing of the video for the day before. And yes, that was the whatever day that was. Go out in the garden for my usual routine. 10:30 it looked, and Toadie's following me, so there's some distractions. Yeah, below freezing, but not sufficiently cold for long enough for the water to freeze other than in those shallow containers. So you see a bit of ice there on the top. And of course, as I make my way down the garden, there's distractions because of Toadie is with me some of the time. There he is again. You never know what he's going to get up to, and that's one of the reasons. There, flowers out, that's primroses, middle of winter. And making my way down the garden, it'll be the usual routine of topping up the feeders. Oh, he was checking out that little mouse hide I put in years ago. So, yes, coming down as well. So the routine is to top up the 5 bird feeders down the end at a nice little spot that's been developed during 2025, and make a note of how plants are growing. And of course stuff is shooting up already. And Yeah, not much different. Lots of leaves to be cleared up sometime or other when there's somebody available to spend the time on it. And yeah, getting down to near the first feed feeder, so that needs topping up. So if anybody didn't, oh yes, there's my plant container, my old shoes. So that's the box that the bird feed's kept in. Top up that bird feeder and all the others. Stuff is growing, you can see some birds seed. That's the 4 candles you've got a glimpse of. So now there's Toady. What's he up to? And now looking up, yes, plenty of scope, as I've said many times, to cut back more twigs and branches if and when there's the time. And of course you've got the health and safety. Oh, he's decided to walk around on that platform that we made some time ago, well, earlier in the year. Yes, he's got a good vantage point there. He looks over next door, I'm not sure why. Probably things to pounce on. Yeah, that's the bridge across the second pond. And looking up near the second pond, yeah, I think that's a cherry tree, could be cut back a bit. Gradually making my way back up the garden now. That's the old boat seat and the bank. Looking back, looking up. Sundial. And yeah, so got a complete record there for anybody that decides they want to know what the layout is and what's there, what work needs to be done. And in some cases, oh, that's their little memo to Gingy, christened by Michelle as fart a lot. Yeah, that plant's coming along and making way up now into, I would describe that as June's patch when you get near the greenhouse, and that's round the side. Yeah, there's cameras everywhere. Of course they don't all work. That's all part of the property maintenance work that needs to be done. Coming back to the untidy porch area, lots of stuff to be tidied, put in the right place, given away or thrown away. Most of it's just a case of putting it in the right place. And yes, I've said many times there's a computer and a TV, working TV in there, but it hasn't been checked for years now. I'm about to get into the house, I think. Yes, here we go. Back into the untidy lounge, mostly just crisping, Christmas wrappings. That is still processing. So that's the lounge. Yes, Christmas decorations, of course, and quite a few Christmas presents and things. Ah, that's closed circuit TV, looking on that, and into the kitchen. So the women are recovering from their tennis. I decided to go out the front, and yes, there's a lot of those were presents, Christmassy plant containers. And of course we had quite a hard frost, and somebody had written that naughty word on the back of the car. Well, I think there's several things like that. It's Homer and the flatulent fairy. Well, she's better than she had been for a while, but still could have work done on her. But only a few days now and we'll be tidying up. Oh yes, that is the the owl box that had fallen down. I think I got a glimpse of the post lady in the background there, and making my way back into the house. There's stuff, we've got to find a place to put it. And I thought that, yes, wonder if there's a better place for that. Probably. Perhaps it was later in the day I moved it somewhere. 5 to 11 that looks like. And processing is still going on. Post has been delivered. That must have been the post lady. Yes, there's on the closed circuit TV. And yeah, just so anybody didn't know, anybody approaching the place, there's detailed pictures of them. A bit like when you're walking down the street, really. Anybody can see you. Well, that's also true. Okay. Looks like the processing is complete. And yeah, I had reason to. Oh yes, June had bought a new gadget, and so. And then there was a a video from Richard, and there was some conversation related to the Brits leading the world on aerospace technology, including engines from Rolls-Royce, jet engines that is. Yeah, looks like I'm having a snack. Oh yes, and on the closed circuit TV I could see, I was sat in my naughty corner, that June was topping up the bird feeders. Yeah, it's been a hard day's work so far. And oh yes, that's little blue tits, I think, coming to eat the peanuts. Oh well, yes, and I checked what time. It was about 05:40 in the morning that the boat rudder stopped moving. So before then it was moving, and then it stopped moving. So from that I could see how many hours. There's the closed circuit TV of me switching it on at 11:37. So I did some rough sums, and according to that it ran for about 18 hours. And of course I do things with pen and paper. Don't rely on digital technology for everything. And there's the boat switched off again now, so it get a chance to recover a bit. There's Homer and the flatulent fairy. Right, coming back in. Ah, yes. Now, perhaps a better place is the other window. I mean, in slower time, I'm going to do a better job of it, but it seems as good a place as any. Oh, that's this gadget, and June pointed out the box. So there we've got a record of what it was. Basically, it's one of those things that you communicate by saying Alexa, and of course, as we were doing that, she was demonstrating it. The fridge could also hear it, and that was doing the same. Oh, there's Toadie. He's got into our bedroom and was decided to sleep on our bed. Right, so what's going on now? It's obviously getting dark. I had a bit of a doze, but not for very long. And yeah, into the study. Very, very. Oh yes, I searched for our Christmas list, and I found it. This was a checklist. It was. I used a DOS command on it, and found a list that 3 or 4 years old, but still useful. Right, so they're watching, look like Paddington Bear in the kitchen, and I decided to go into my naughty corner and eat the food there. Makes a change for me not going down to the village. Yeah, and there's Toadie decided to have a drink from that glass of water, which I think is what Lady uses. Oh yeah, I thought, when was the Chinese New Year? And there you go. It's got the details. Not until middle of February. And of course, some friends, that's the important time for holidays and greetings and things. So, yes, it looked like a full moon. And of course, I haven't got the knack of using the smartphone, get the settings right, to get a good picture, but the net showed me, confirmed it was that day. Christmas Eve, and there's Tony relaxing with me. So we're getting ready to, that was the weather forecast, and then yeah, watching that TV show, Graham Norton with his guests. Oh yeah, and The Night Manager. They showed a clip from that. I'm curious to see whether that is good. And there was a young actor as well. That was very amusing. Well, oh yeah, look at that. Somebody's done those things outside. Oh dear, I wonder how they did that. Might have been done with, I don't know, squeezy soap liquid or something. But yeah, these things happen. I should have checked the closed circuit TV to see who it was. So we're relaxing. There's Lady, Michelle's pussycat, prowling around, checking things out. I've decided to relax with Red Bull. Coming up to midnight, what has struck me is it was only a minute or two before midnight that they switched from the Graham Norton show to the crowd and the scenes in London. And of course there was also the digital delay of a little bit. Anyhow, yeah, that was the usual excellent show. Fireworks rather than just drones and things. And yes, very enjoyable. So yeah, that went on. Because using drones, I suppose, is a bit tricky at the moment in terms of people's thoughts, what they're triggered, where drones are used for bad things. Yeah, lovely crowd scenes. And there's Lady still prowling around. Oh, well, we had fireworks go off at the back of us, but I wasn't quick enough to get the pictures. And yes, there's Lady again. I don't think the cats were scared by fireworks. Perhaps there weren't enough of them to cause that. Yes. So time for bed, and that's the end of the photo trail. Thursday the 1st of January 2026, New Year's Day. There'll be some confusion because there's overlap of the photo trails on New Year's Eve, where we stayed up after midnight, and this, which only continues from midnight. But yeah, so there we were, enjoying the fireworks from the centre of London after Big Ben chimes, and some of the pussycats took an interest. And what else? Yes, there's Lady on Michelle's lap. Yeah, so lovely firework display. Didn't see any drones this year, which probably was a good decision. Too many echoes of drones being used for different purposes. So thoroughly enjoyable. Yes, and crowd scenes. And there's Lady prowling around. And there was fireworks, did go off at the back of us, but Robin wasn't quick enough to get out and take any photos. There's Lady. Time for bed. And so what follows now are photos taken after we'd got up. And there we go. Looks like a bit of television being watched there. Let's see if I can do it right. And there we go. 11:20 in the morning. So processing of the video for the day before. As I said, there was overlap there. Then in my usual routine, going into the garden, there are 11:20, temperature 3 degrees above freezing. Yes, so a little bit of ice left over in the containers, but everything else wasn't frozen. And yeah, primroses out middle of winter, all coming out into bloom as well. Yes, usual boring trail down the garden, but sometimes it catches something like work that needs to be done, apart from the obvious things like clearing leaves. And yeah, so just boring old trail down to see if there's any changes. It must have been the same as it's been for days or even weeks. So it'd be down to top up the bird feeders. So there's one of 5. So go to the box where the bird feed's kept. Work needed on that box because there's a route that slugs and things can get in. So topped up the feeders, all 5 of them, and then snaps around looking at the pond, or that was the bog garden pond 3 if you like. Looking further up, plenty of scope for twigs and branches to be cut back to expose more sky and therefore sun and even perhaps stars. And yeah, that's flags up work. Bulbs that haven't been planted that are still under that seat. There's the Gunner Manticata, there's the pond number 2, looking down the garden, looking up, and the summer house or laboratory, and June's little vegetable patch, the sundial, and working my way up the steps. Yes, that plant looks as though it's doing okay. June's patch, as I call it. Making my way now to the patio. Lots of tidying up needed there. Things put in the right place, and of course we've got extra things that have appeared at Christmas. Yeah, TV and a computer in there, believe it or not. That's where we keep some of the food for fishes. I haven't put any of that out recently. Oh, there's a glimpse of a red kite, no more than that. And yes, into the lounge. Video still processing, about half done. And what else? Yeah, all that hard work goes on. 11:30, that's done. Toady has joined me, and he's just relaxing. We spent most of the day. Right, that's 3 of those that I've had, which is a bit of I won't give you too much information, but it's detailed on my Frimley Park Hospital page. And right, all looking good. 4:25 in the evening or afternoon. Obviously gets dark quick. Yes, Toadie's still there. He spent practically all the day sleeping on the sofa. Yeah, pulled up because it's chilly. Going up past Homer. I think I decided to pop down into the village just to see whether the Blend and Brew was open, because the Google Maps, I think it said that it would be open. And but so not only didn't they have a sign on the door, but anyhow, I came back and checked, and it says it'll be open the next day today, but probably not. So making my way back. Yes, after sunset. There's Homer. Yeah, there's the various Christmas decorations coming on. So back to the front door. Yes, I know it's all boring stuff. There's that new position of that sign. And yes, they're watching something or other on television. Coming up to 5 o'clock in the evening. Yes, the trackers are all working. Anybody can see where Robin is. there's Toadie still there. Looks so woken up. Oh, that was hard work, wasn't it? All that walking. Goodness me. Listen to the Radio 4 News. Obviously, sad stuff and serious stuff. Oh yeah, that was checking, and sure, Google Maps still said Blenderberry open. I had a bit of a doze, but not for very long. Yeah, 7:20. Yes, I was woken by a champagne cork popping. June looked as though she was having a little drop to drink. And that's a wildlife programme on the telly. Looks like... Oh yes, a glimpse of... I think there were 2 foxes on the closed circuit TV when I... Out of curiosity, there's another one. I think that's 2. And there's Toadie following them. Yes. So, good that the foxes are still visiting. So, looks like June's called to say there's some food ready. They're watching a wildlife program. Yeah, so there's my food. And I haven't done this for some time, which is taking the food into my naughty corner to eat. Oh yes, and I've reminded me to top up the peanuts in the front porch area, the feeder and the other tray. And that's where they're kept, in the games room, if anybody was taking over that task. And it was David Attenborough, I think, the wildlife programme. Had a bit of a doze. Woke up. June's watching, I don't know what it is. Oh, of course, yes, The Night Manager. And that's that second series. Yes, and there's some iconic scenes that certainly push buttons on me on the first series. And the second series seems to be of the same quality. But yet to see what scenes are on. And that's the BBC News. Obviously, tragic events. Oh yeah, June decided to point out my Christmas toy. And I did have a try with it. And she took 1 or 2 snaps. But it needs to be checked out outdoors. And of course find the instructions, which weren't included. So find those online, I expect. There's the news and the weather, time for bed, and that's the end of the photo trail. Friday the 2nd of January 2026. We woke up to find there had been a flurry of snow during the night. And in fact, that was the first photo taken. So we're going to the photo trail. Basically, yes, a little bit of snow. Enough to make snowballs, but not really enough to make a snowman. So, start with the pictures out the front. There's Snoopy's robot boat, Snoopy the Viking, there's Homer, and the flatulent fairy. And yes, more decoration could be added. Oh, somebody's written those words and put that artwork on the cars in the snow. I wonder who did that. Right, looking up, lovely blue sky. It was all the day. I could see, looked like pussycat footprints on the... Oh yes, you've seen that a few times. So just taking a few snaps around the front to begin with. Yes, lots of scope for stuff to be tidied up. And yes, the signs much the same. And into the games room, into the lounge. 10:15 when I started those photos. And yes, processing of the video for the day before. Making my way out to the patio. Yes, sprinkling with snow everywhere. Yeah, look at it. Yeah, temperature, well, just about 0. And yeah, so very little hot ice. So I'm gradually going to be working my way down the garden. Usual boring photo trails, but they're a record of what it was like on that day. Yeah, that picture got rotated by the blooming smartphone. It was a primrose out, middle of winter. Oh, look at those. Now, are those pussycat footprints or fox? My bet is pussycats. So I'm working my way down towards the end of the garden. Yeah, much the same. You can see what plants are coming up, even though it's the middle of winter. You've heard me say that a few times already. and getting down to, well, basically the bog garden area. And of course, topping up the bird feeders is one of the jobs. So there's one. So there's the bird feed. There it is, topped up. Oh yes, don't forget the primroses flowering nicely in my tatty shoes. So what are we doing now? Probably looking up. Yes, plenty of scope for twigs and branches to be cut back to expose more sky, as I've said many times. Just a matter of somebody getting round to doing it. Oh yes, and that's to be remembered. Bulbs that haven't been planted are just laying there to rot. Might take a little while for that to happen. Lovely blue sky. And gradually making my way up. Yeah, plants that seem to be coming along nicely. Hopefully they'll survive the winter. Yes, there's the summer house or laboratory. And there's June's little vegetable patch. Yes, that plant seems to be coping all right. Yes, there's June's patch with the greenhouse. Yeah, you see a sprinkle of snow everywhere, but not a problem. Right, coming along to the, well, it'd only be a problem if you sat in it, of course. Right, so that's the patio, and yes, there's, as I've said, a TV and a computer in there. I made my way into the lounge, and that processing is probably still continuing. That's looking around the lounge. Oh, there's Lady, Michelle's pussycat. And there's June watching tennis from Perth, Australia. Looks like the processing has finished. That was for the previous day, Thursday. Put a commentary on it, like I'm doing for this one now, for the Friday. Oh yes, planning, well, not planning, but just pointing out we're going to the Cricketers for pub lunch with the grumpy old men. Booked that a day or two back. There's Toadie coming in to eat. June watching something, looks like darts to me. Can't be sure what it is. Well, that's tennis, obviously. And yeah, it's coming up to 12, so I expect Stuart to be arriving soon. And is that his car arriving? Not sure. But then apparently, yes, he tooted his horn. So went out and we went round to the Cricketers. That was it. Didn't take many pictures there. And back home briefly to check emails and things, to see if anything significant need to be responded to. Yes, there's a sprinkling of snow. Oh yeah, there's a reminder of the artwork. And since it doesn't take very long seconds really to take the snaps, and yes, still tennis by the look of it. And oh yeah, there's Samantha taking the dustbin of stuff out, and of course that triggers the ring camera. Yes, anybody could see where Robin was any time. Yes, and there's her bringing it back. And then I'm going to go across to Richard and Vase for coffee and bickies possibly. Oh yeah, one of the emails was newsletter council. Yes, there's the trip down to the Cricketers and back to Armitage Court, just here, and listening to the Radio 4 news. Only took a few minutes, but there were some important bits of news to hear, but really within about 3 minutes, I think. So now going across to Richard and Vase, and yeah, then coming away from there, even though it was obviously a nice long chat over there. Yeah, just a reminder that L box needs to be put back when there's time to do it. And yes, there's Bentley has come over to have lunch, I suppose, and how he was prowling around, probably wanted to be let out. And there's Michelle making a fuss at Bentley. There's me planning going down to the village. Oh yes, of course, we had that 3 o'clock meeting, June and myself, with the Comrades Club committee, and that was because there'd been a ban put on Robin going into the Comrades Club due to an incident on the 28th. Anyhow, that went brilliantly, and well, in slower time, somebody could find out more if they want, but in a nutshell, the committee made their decision while we were in the room with them, and it was basically that they'll send a letter with the nitty-gritty of what Robin had to do, which is basically take less photos, or certainly be more careful about photos that are taken, but we'll see what happens on that. But it went brilliantly. And right, so it was getting late in the day. I thought, I'll take the opportunity to check out the end of the garden with those lights, and they're still coming on as they should do. Various types of light, some for decoration, some practical. So making my way down, and of course it means that I doubt if you'd want to do it this time of the year, but when it's warmer, then it might be a pleasant place to spend time, as I have done in the summer. That's the mosquito trap, and I think there's 1 or 2 mosquitoes you can see there, but not many of those around now, especially since we put plants to deter them, and it's also all a question of the time of the year. Right, so yes, he's a bit of a naughty gnome, that one, isn't he? He's near a PIR light that comes on when you move near it. Right, looks like I'm making my way back up, and of course you've got the light in from the house. So making my way back to, there's, looking in the window, and there's Toadie. Looks as though he's chose to sleep in that corner of the games room. So make my way in, looking up. No lack of work to be done. All a matter of who and when it gets done. So into the games room, there's Toadie, dozing just for a change. And there they're watching, something or other. Probably a drama. Right, coming into, what's that? Oh yes, Michelle working on her bow. And I also found the instructions for that, a helicopter. In a nutshell, you couldn't steer it, but you could make it go up and down. Right, where am I off to now? Probably to the village. I think we're past the full moon, but it looked full. So it's going down to eat in the village, and I hadn't got a reply from La Sorrentina, and of course when I checked the door, the notice had been removed, so it looks as though they have now closed for, well, we'll see what happens. It could be months. So anyhow, I then ate in the flame and into the Comrades Club. We had a nice relaxing evening, sat there, didn't take any photos, and then making my way back home. And yes, not much different, just the time of night. Also an exercise in taking photos, isn't it? And yeah, it's still there. Nobody's wiped it off. And yeah, record of junk that still has to be sorted out. And yes, that's quite new. I like that. And there's Toadie relaxing in the hall. There's June watching something or other on the TV. And yeah, check the tracker. And anybody could see live where I was, and that shows my journey over the last hour or so back home to 22 Armadale Court, just here. There's Toadie, there's June watching TV, so that'll have to do. That's the end of the photo trail. Yes, hello there. So let's go in to wrap up the video with a clip that was shot a little while ago. So, time to wrap up this video. Oh, looks like I can see a pussycat. Yes, that one's Toadie. What are you doing, Toadie? You checking what I've been doing? Oh dear. Looks like I left the tap running. Oh, I better turn that off.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I know. I'm going to rush off down the garden now because I didn't plan it this way. But here we go. Yes, I'd left the tap running. So, no, it hasn't filled this up yet. No worries. So, run back up the garden again. Try not to trip over. Yes. Hello, Toadie. So, as I was about to say, yes, it's quite difficult without a selfie stick or something. So to wrap up this video, it only remains to say, look after yourselves, stay safe, and enjoy what days we have.